And the test print of the Horror A4 issue 3 showed up while I was gone. So we're going to take a quick look, and I'm excited, but I also expect it, I expect it to need adjustments, unfortunately. Cover looks good. Colors seem nice. Just a little thing there. It says Prometheus Godfather. I don't know what that means. Okay, and then quality check. So what really I'm worried about more than anything else is the pages blending together like this, because I worry that it's going to read that way. Oh, it's not so bad. Yeah, I worry it's going to read like straight across instead of, yeah, this is exactly what I was worried about. Oh, brother, sister, father, man. All right, so I'm not ready to approve and go. I'm going to have to adjust the art a little bit. I'm not going to get too, I'm showing you the whole issue here. I'm not going to get too into it right now, but I guess the bad news is I got to adjust the art. The good news is that there's no way I would have had this ready for Kaiju Brooklyn. I had come a little earlier since I won't be able to just say, go! Hey, it's Tuesday. I'm leaving Montague Brothers Coffee. Coyote Coffee is what we call it at my house. It's the first day I'm back. I was back yesterday from my East Coast trip. It's the first real day where I got up, got the kids to school, came out. Normally I'd stay here until it was time to pick her up and draw. I did do some drawing on Boots that is going to be part of a print and the entirety of a sticker for Kickstarter rewards for issue 3. And I was reflecting on the fact that I was at Coyote Coffee and I just got back from the Brooklyn trip, where I didn't have issue 3 of the comic with me, but it is done, and I was talking about my comic. And this is significant because it was a scenario where, 6 months ago or whatever, I don't even know if I was gonna do my comic. When was it ever gonna be finished? And I started talking about it, and it's a double-edged sword because sometimes talking about a project, you lose momentum. You get that dopamine hit, and you're like, you told a bunch of people, and they all said it's a great idea, and so who needs to finish it? But this was a case where I already was working on I already started the project, but wasn't working on it. And it was more about creating accountability where I'd be embarrassed and feel bad and weird if I didn't do the things I said I was gonna do. And so I was talking to a gentleman, an international from another country that was here for like a week or so doing skydiving, and we got a little chummy. And I was like, yeah, I don't travel that much, but in a couple months I'm gonna be going to Brooklyn, New York. He's like, why? I'm like, well, I'm doing this Kaiju convention. And he's like, really? Why? And I'm like, not in a nasty way. I'm like, well, I do Kaiju art, but I have this new book coming out. And I was basically not bragging, but sort of stating, yes, I do books. I have a new book coming out and I'm going to Brooklyn to promote it, amongst other things. And it happened. When I said it, I remember thinking, gosh, that seems so far away. I have so much work to do. I hope I can make this happen. Am I lying to him unintentionally? But now I'm back and I did it, and it wasn't a big deal. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was just, hey, I just did it. It's done. And I have a laundry list of things to do, including laundry, finances, real life stuff, catching up on stuff, kids' school stuff, art commissions, things I owe for the Kickstarter, things I owe that I pushed off. Before I could really get going on issue 4. I started issue 4, like I'm jumping into it, but as I've said before, I might not really start it for a month or two because I just got to catch up on everything. But it's not like, well, I'll take a break and get back to it when I can. Like, I'm very motivated to get back to issue 4. All this being said is, I got to get home and take care of some stuff before I pick up the kid for school, and then we're doing stuff after school. So I'm glad I came here and got my coffee, and I got some avocado toast, which is good because it gets me back in the rhythm of my everyday life of work. It's also good because my stomach was very upset this morning. Avocado toast, aside from being delicious and expensive, helps with that. And yeah, I'm gonna go home and take care of some stuff, and then pick up the kid. And I don't know if I'll draw any more today, but I'm being productive. And I don't know. It just feels good to reflect on this is where I was when I sort of made a promise. And this is where I am when the promise was delivered, even though the person that I said it to doesn't care and isn't even here anymore. But I am, and you are. I'm leaving CVS. It's Wednesday. Kids only got 3 days of school left. Hopefully the program we have lined up for the summer works out. Well, I was here depositing money. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but we use a banking that doesn't have physical locations. It might have ATMs, maybe, but not around us. And that's fine it's great. There's all kinds of accounts for like my art account and kid savings and moving around money and everything. And there's less fees and blah, blah, blah. And it's better in every way for all technological people, except when you get cash, you have to deposit it to like CVS, and it's not like they have a machine. I have to just wait online, go to the counter, I count it, they count it, then the manager comes over, and it makes everybody behind me have to wait. I was like, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. But I did it, and it's fine. But if I get a little bit of cash, 20 here, 40 there, whatever, I just keep it and respend it on something else and adjust, if it was art money, but I'm spending it on the house, I could fix that. But when I do shows, like I just did 2 shows, and I had, like $1,000 cash on me. I'm like, I can't just have this. So, and plus I want to pay bills, and I certain things, like I bought a new wagon for doing shows. That was like $80 that I need to pay from my art money because I put it on the credit card, like just the normal family credit card. But the $80 is cash. So how do I do that? I give it to CVS and then move the money around. So anyway, I don't like having to go to CVS to deposit my cash is the moral of the story. Woe is me, boo-hoo. But yeah, it's wild that we're almost at the end of the school year here, and I guess it's June. But what's weirder is that she goes back, and I think it's still August, and then we'll see how this other thing works out in between. Today, I'm not going to a coffee shop now. I did this. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to do finances. I did some last night. I got to finish. I did the finances for Pasadena Comic-Con. I got to do the finances for Kaiju Brooklyn. And yeah, it takes a while just to pay back what I've put on the credit card, to move things around, to distribute funds and see what my profits or lack thereof were. And then a few other things I need to do around the house. So that's what I'm going to be concentrating on until it's time to pick her up. Then I'm going to my mom's house. And at that point, I'll go to the coffee shop at my mom's house and do a little bit of work. Artwork, that is. I'll be doing work until then, but artwork specifically. Just spent an hour and a half at the coffee shop near my mom's house. She's watching the kid. Today and yesterday have been indicative. I have a ton of stuff to do, and the way I'm getting through life after the big trip and feeling on the edge of burnout, maybe in burnout, is trying to not stress about stuff, which is difficult for me because part of stressing about stuff is motivating myself. It's a fine line between being chill and being lazy. And so with the kid being late for school yesterday, I just was like, well, you know what? She's going to be late. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Hold on. I don't like it because I want to establish routine for her and for me. I don't like it because it's not fair to the teachers and the other kids if she's wandering late, even though it's only TK. I don't like it because then I have less free time to get artwork done, to get the house done, whatever. So, but I just was like, well, it's better to not stress about it and just let it be. Let me turn up the air conditioning here. Similarly today, I thought I turned up the air conditioning. This is content. Similarly today, I got some stuff done. I got most of the finances done that I was talking about. I emptied the luggage. I did garbage. I did cat litter. I did some house stuff, but there's tons more stuff I need to do. But I played a game of Fortnite, and then I came over to my mom's house and I hung out and chatted for a while instead of running right out to get work done. And I came over here and I only worked for about an hour and a half. But I'm trying not to stress about it. And the thing is, I do have deadlines because I have Kickstarter rewards that are promised, that those dates are a little bit out, but a lot of the stuff I have to get the art done and then get it printed or get the sticker made or whatever. So it's not like, well, it's due in 2 months. It's like, yeah, but my part of it is due before then. But I'm trying not to stress because it's only a couple days. I got the show this weekend, and then next week, hopefully I could, give it some more juice, or the week after, if next week I feel kind of how I do now. But better to keep steady forward movement on all of these fronts, even if it's not as good as I'd like, rather than burn myself out. And then I'll be useless or miserable or short with a child or doing bad work or whatever side effects that come from that. The last thing is, I've redrawn this picture of Boots a few times. I'm probably showing it to you. This was going to be a sticker. Well, actually, it was going to be a sticker, and I started designing it and putting all this other stuff behind her, and I'm like, that's too much. I'll just cut out this one piece, and that's the sticker. Then the print got funded, so I was like, oh, well, I'll use my original design for the print, and I'll cut her out for the sticker. That way, it's like, I'll put more work into it. The two images, the two pieces of merchandise will be based on the same art, but I will put more work into the art because I know it's going to be used for two, blah, 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 blah. It's like working smarter, not harder, but I'm also working harder. But I've been working on it for a while, and I was going to kind of be done with it. And I looked at it today, and I redrew the whole hand, and I was like, well, today I'm done. Whatever the inks are at today, I am done. Not that I'm being lazy, not that I think it's terrible, but it could always be better. And I'm trying to do that thing of like, okay, I've redrawn it like 3 times. I'm going to start getting diminishing returns. And I think that's where we're at. I got to go pick up the kid. We got to go pick up Target grocery. Then I got to get the car to Tech Advisor Erzugi because she has a hair appointment. So I'm doing dinner tonight. Blah, 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 blah. afternoon on Thursday, I went to the coffee shop for my usual, old usual, whatever. I went there. I edited and posted an interview video I did from Kaiju Brooklyn because I'm not recording Action Activate this week. That is the episode this week. I also created a graphic because I am unexpectedly going to Robo Toy Fest this Sunday. So I created a graphic and shared that I was doing that. And then I went back to work on the picture of Boots for the sticker. I did draw her leg several times. I kind of got the arm better, but then I'm like, this leg isn't so good. I still don't love it, but it's better than it was. And I let it go when I started doing the flats. And that's where I am right now. All right, I just had independent playtime where I rested a little bit. I played Fortnite. Tried to be productive, failed for a while, but then went over issue 3, the proof I have. I thought the ink was way too dark, but I looked at the last issue and it seemed fine. There's a couple places where maybe I was a little heavy-handed with some of the gray washes, but generally it was fine. And that's not a printing error, that would be my error. But and most of the lettering was fine. Now it's a little bit of TV time, and I'm gonna do like 4 loads of laundry. Well, they're done. I need to put away like 4 loads of laundry while TV is on. So the main problem with the book, as I alluded to before, is that there are pages butted up against each other, which always happens. And I guess in this issue did a lot of no panel, just like, and the bleed is fine. It's not like art is cut off the page. I followed the crop marks, all the lettering, all the important art is in the page. But there's bleed leading up to bleed where it looks like you're supposed to read across instead of down, or it gets confusing because the backgrounds are merged. So there's several pages. I made a list of notes. I'm gonna say 10 pages that I have to go in and shrink the panel, put in a border, put in a gutter, something, change them so that they're not so stuck together. Honestly, there's a few pages that I could get away with. Like, there's probably 3 pages that are absolutely terrible that need to be fixed. But since I'm going in and fixing it, I'm like, might as well tighten up these other 7. And so that will be the next step, is tightening those up, sending them in. Now, here's the thing. I had to pay $40 for this one proof. Previously, when I've done this in a couple of years, through either Kablam or Comix Wellspring, I just bought 1 issue and then made tweaks and bought another and bought another. My recollection was that it was a little bit more than buying a lot, but it was like $10, $12, something like that, because I paid all that shipping just for 1 issue. I didn't remember paying $40 for a proof at all, but now the minimums I think are $25, and so maybe they did this to avoid exactly what I had done. My hope is that since I paid the $4 for the proof, I could be like, okay, here's the changes. Well, I know they're not going to charge me for the changes, but my worry is that, like, what if I want to get another proof? Am I going to have to pay another $40? Is there a reduced fee, or is that all included in the proof? I don't know, because theoretically I sent in the correct pages and like, go ahead and print, but what if I made another mistake? I don't know, so we'll see. It is 7:15, I think. Taking care of Cosmic Cat because the kid is using the restroom. They got up early today, which means we are basically ready to go to school 45 minutes before we need to. So that's of dubious benefit. I'm gonna let them play some arcade games before school for a few minutes, and then we're gonna head out. I think I'm gonna go to a different coffee shop. I had breakfast here, but I'm just gonna get a cup of coffee and try to finish up the sticker art. And I'm not sure what else. I'm starting to get a little scatterbrained with what I gotta do. I have to fill out some last minute paperwork for her summer program that I had sent all the paperwork in before I went to the East Coast and was like, let me know because I'm gonna be away for a while. And then I got back, I'm like, I haven't heard anything. And then 2 days later, they're like, we need this paper. I'm like, because summer program starts Monday. So I gotta make sure I take care of that today. Maybe I'll do that while she's doing her arcade game. Maybe I could sneak upstairs for a few minutes. And then, my goal today is to do that. I was gonna say my goal is to finish the sticker art, but that's not my goal. I will try to do that, I'll work on that, but my real goal is to make the adjustments to issue 3 and resubmit for a second proof or whatever you wanna call it. That's my goal in terms of art. I am semi-unexpectedly doing Robo Toy Fest this Sunday. Semi-unexpectedly because I usually do that show, but I decided not to do it this year since I was going to Brooklyn the week before, and the week before that Pasadena Comic-Con had got moved because of the fire, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna wanna do 3 shows in a row. I'm not gonna be able to swing it. But Tech Advisor Azuki's like, do it. It's a 1-day show, and I'm gonna take the kid to a barbecue Saturday and watch her all day. So Tech Advisor Azuki will watch her all day Sunday, and it'll help get boxes like those out of the house because that's toys and stuff. So while pure art shows are good for me and my soul and spreading my art, toy shows, which need to be local inherently because I'm not gonna travel with boxes of toys, are good for the house, getting old toys out of the house.
I think, I don't know, when I have the hand mic, that definitely works better, but I want to be able to talk quietly and or in a crowded, loud environment. I'm working on my boots sticker, and I'm just testing this angle to see how it works. It's quite loud in here. It's a coffee shop. People are talking above normal speaking volume, and there's the coffee machine. Michael Winslow, I'm not. Is that his name? Michael Winslow? Anyway.
Typically, I get home from whatever and I plug my iPad in and it stays plugged in until I use it, usually the next day. For some reason, I forgot to do that the last 2 days, and yesterday I was able to plug it in. Today, I am not, or I have to reorganize. I kept getting low power warnings working on the sticker, and I was getting close to being done with the color, and it shut itself off. And I don't know how much work I lost, but it's off, and I can't work on my iPad anymore. I still have a little coffee left. I'm going to fart around on my phone while I finish my coffee, and then I'm going to go home, plug it in, and do that paperwork for the school that I need to do, and start working on adjusting the pages. So there you go. My hand is forced that I will work on that now. All right, I'm looking at the test, print, proof, whatever, and this was the main page I had to correct. So looking here, it's a battle page. This is the middle. So you can see here they're kind of blending together. This is what I had, and this is what I now have. The main difference is I shrunk both of the art just a little bit. I added a black border on one around the whole page, a white border on the other, and I made sure there wasn't any overlap of the lettering between them, because there was sort of, you see like the Fazam and the R, they're like just connecting, and now, boom, much better, much clearer. And that was the number one thing I needed to correct, but since I'm correcting, I'm going through and doing other things, but that part's done at least now. See, I'm about to make a video, but I thought there might be some bamps. Yeah. Okay, let me see what happens if I try to talk. Hey, it's me, Gaz. Let me try this way. Hey, what's going on? What if I go here? Hey, what? I might have to adjust something. Okay, so independent play just ended, and I finished up all of the adjustments I needed on the comic, which was 10 pages. Arguably, they didn't all need to be done, but several had to, so I just did 10. And I sent them in, and I sent the email saying, hey, here's the new ones. Let me see what's going on. I said I wanted another physical proof, which may have been a mistake because it said there might be cost incurred, but it didn't tell me how much that cost would be. And I'm realizing this now as I'm telling you this, because I meant to look it up and I didn't, but now there's a gremlin crawling around and I'm not gonna have time to do that. And I also got the paperwork done for summer session, but I need to pay that invoice, but I'll do that later. So progress made, good things good. Bye. Had dinner at the Hungry Dragon. I'm no longer hungry, but I'm still a dragon.